Hi, I'm Nikki Butler. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm an autistic ADHDer. I really hope you're enjoying my mini series on what it's like to be an autistic ADHDer. I was diagnosed at the age of 46, I'm now 47. So if you've watched some of the earlier videos, you'll have heard a little bit about my story. I'm running a mini series just busting some of the common myths around what it is to be autistic. And the myth I'm going to talk about today is the commonly used phrase of, well, we're all a little bit autistic. And the reality is that's not true. So being autistic is something that's quite specific, and it's traits that as an autistic person that I have or others have that make it very difficult or challenging to live in an allistic society, in normal society. So it may not even be something that you see when you look at somebody. So a lot of people will say to me, you don't look autistic, or you don't seem like you have ADHD, without really understanding what my autistic traits are or what affect me. So for example, you may come into my work environment and think that I'm very articulate, I'm very knowledgeable about what I do, and I'll be able to hold a conversation with you and interact. And you may not, based on your own stereotype and thoughts around what an autistic person looks or is, wouldn't necessarily know. Now that's based on the fact that I go to great lengths to appear, not necessarily appear normal, but to be able to fit in with normal society. So my autistic traits can mean that I'm highly anxious in big kind of social situations. So you'll notice that I work on a one-to-one basis. I don't even have a receptionist in the clinic with me. And that's because for me, it's distracting and it's overwhelming to have more than one person. I'm incredibly well read and experienced on the services that I offer and Skin and Scar. It's my absolute kind of passion to understand how the human body can regenerate and repair itself. You see that translated into the treatments that I offer and the knowledge and experience that I share. But actually what you don't see behind the scenes is the level of kind of routine that I have in place to manage kind of the day-to-day for me. So saying that we're all a little bit autistic is actually incorrect. And I think when I think about why some people say that, it's because some of the things that we find challenging as autistic or ADHD people are things that everybody can experience in day-to-day society. And I'm going to give you a really simple example of that actually when it comes to ADHD. And that could be that, you know, I find time management incredibly difficult. And a lot of people say to me, oh, me too, I'm late for everything, or I'm late for this, or, you know, I was running late for a hair appointment. And that's because it's something called executive functioning, and it's something that everybody experiences. But for me, when I struggle with my timekeeping and ability to get to places on time, it's actually what then goes into that to make sure I'm not running late or I'm able to function. And it's the multiple reminders, it's the planning that goes into place to make sure, it's the anxiety, it's the stress, it's the impact and the consequences that happen behind the scene. And that's the same with my autistic traits. I'm just going to share, most people wouldn't know this, that I don't actually eat hot food. Very rare for me to eat hot food. I have a massive issue with foods that are supposed to be eaten hot going lukewarm. And so the way for me to avoid that, because I become very frustrated if I'm out for dinner and people are chatting and the food is going cold, I need to either eat that food hot, which means I would eat very quickly, or I'd rather eat cold food. And so it's about those traits and the impact that it has on our lives. And they may seem like traits that everybody experiences at some level because it's about the executive functioning. But the difference is the processing and what's happening in our brains, how we're dealing with certain situations and the impact and consequences that that is having. So I'm just going to invite you that the next time you're talking to somebody that is maybe sharing that they're autistic and or ADHD, that you try and hold back from saying, oh, we're all a little bit autistic, because it can feel incredibly invalidating, and it does take away some of the stress and distress that we can experience as autistics in our day-to-day life. If you'd like to chat about this more, please reach out to me. It's something I feel really, really passionate about, and I really want to try and raise awareness and help both autistics and allistic people to just understand and start to integrate more gently into society, so there's a better understanding and there's open lines of communication. But if you would like to reach out to me, the best way to get in contact is via my email, which is nikki@nikkibutler.co.uk, or you can find me on social media channels. I look forward to speaking with you soon.